In this video, I'm going to show you a single SEO fix that brought in over $67,000 in additional revenue for a fashion brand I work with. I'm Tyler Nelbach, the founder of SEO Align. I've helped dozens of fashion brands improve their organic traffic and revenue with SEO. I've helped several multi-million-dollar fashion brands improve their organic revenue by over $50,000 per month. I'm going to show you the exact issue this brand had, how I found the issue, and how I fixed it. So please like this video to show me you're excited, and let's dive in. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to be looking at Brahmin.com. This is not my client site, but this is just a site that we're able to look at so we can kind of see some of the same issues that my client site had, just so I can show you how you could potentially implement this for your brand. So the issue that I'm going to talk about here is an internal linking issue. So the client that I made this change with, they had some serious gaps in their internal link coverage, and ultimately it was just a huge missed opportunity for them. So that was the issue. That was what I identified. So the brand I was working with, they had quite a bit of authority, but they weren't passing that authority through to the internal pages on their site. So their overall site had that authority, but because they weren't doing internal linking properly, what was happening was they had the authority, but it wasn't going to each individual page. So what happens is when they can set up a situation where they're internal linking to all of their internal pages, especially the ones that are really important for ultimately their bottom line, their revenue, it's just ultimately going to pass that authority through. All of their pages are going to see that improvement, and it's a really, really big difference, as you can tell with the amount of revenue difference it made for them. So I'm going to show you how I found that issue. So the first thing I did was I went over to Screaming Frog here. Okay, so I'm in Screaming Frog here, and basically what I did was I ran Brahmin.com through here. So this is what I did with my client site. And one of the things I'm looking at is I'm just going to scroll to the right here, and we are going to look at internal links. So it's going to be in links and unique in links. Okay, so these two are right here. So I tend to look a little bit more at unique in links, but the thing that's a little bit tricky here is if you have your page linked from the menu, this is going to be a little bit misleading. Having pages linked from the menu is really, really good. If for your most important pages, from an SEO standpoint, you definitely want those linked from the menu. But menu links and content links are a little bit different when you have it actually within the content. And so you can tell just by looking at this, we have a lot of pages that have the exact same number of unique in links here. And the reason for that is because these are in the menu. So that's why you can kind of tell there's 119 pages that are doing the links from all of these. So that's not a bad number, but it can be a little bit misleading when you're looking at this, because you can look at this and say, okay, we have 119 internal links. That's awesome. But when you dive a little bit deeper and you see that they're all coming from the menu, that creates a scenario where you don't really have that many internal links that are coming within the content, which are really, really impactful. So where you can take this a little bit deeper is I'm just going to open up one of their pages here. I'm just going to go to Belts. And then when you look down here, I'm over in this in links tab. So we're looking specifically at internal links. It's a super helpful tab because you can look at every single internal link that this page has. And when you look at this, you can see we've got all of these. This column here are the pages that the internal links are coming from. And then they're all coming to this Belts page because we're looking at that one specifically. And what you're looking at here is all these pages that are internal linking to there. And I'm just going to scroll to the right here. Because you can see these pages, but what's happening is most of these are actually coming from the menu. And a good way to tell that is to come over, scroll to the right here. Anchor text, that's super important to look at, but I'm skipping that for now. And link position here. So what I like to do is I like to just export this list here, and I like to look at what links are coming from the header, what links are coming from the content. And the reason it's important to look at this is because you can see we've got one, keep scrolling, one. So you don't even really need to export this to tell this. We only have one link that's coming from, one internal link that's coming from the content. So this is an area specifically for this site that really needs to be improved, because really this Belts page is in the menu. It's not being internally linked from anywhere else. And so that's a really, really big opportunity, because we can add 10 to 20 internal links easy for this page. I guarantee it, just kind of looking at our other pages on the site. And when you really add those up from a standpoint of getting links from other pages that have a lot of authority, have a lot of traffic, that's a really big signal to Google that this is a really important page. And that's how you can really easily pass that authority, pass that value to some of your most important pages. So definitely make sure to take a look at this. Like I said, Screaming Frog, take a look at your most important pages and identify the ones that really lack that coverage, because you'll probably have some of them that the coverage is pretty good, but you'll likely have a bunch of pages that'll surprise you as far as the lack of internal links that they have. So this was how we identified the issue. The next step is what we actually did about it, how we fixed it. So what I did then is I took my client site and I plugged it into SEMrush. And what I was looking for is all of the pages on their website that have backlinks. And then I also looked at all of the pages on their website that are bringing in any sort of meaningful traffic. And I looked at that with the Search Console. And so first, I'm going to hop over to SEMrush here. And so at Brahmin.com, and then what I did was I opened up the backlinks, open up the index pages, and then I just exported this list. And so you can see right here the number of domains that are linking to each of these pages. There's a lot of pages that have backlinks here. Keep scrolling, several pages, I'm sure. So that was what I did as far as exporting the backlinks. For the Search Console, I don't have the Search Console data for Brahmin.com, so I can't export that, but really easy to just log into there, sort by pages, and export that list. So then what you'll have is you'll have a list of pages that actually have backlinks, and then you have your list of pages from the Search Console that are bringing in a good amount of traffic. And then what you'll want to do is have whatever pages you're really focused on, whatever pages you really want to get ranked, what you're going to do is you're going to take those and you're going to look with that list of pages that have backlinks and the pages that have traffic. And I'll show you here. I'll export this list. So what you're going to look at here is you're going to look at all of these pages that have backlinks, and it's sorted by the number of domains that are linking to them, which is great. And you're just going to look in our case, if we're trying to get, more internal links for our belts page, we're going to look at this and we're just going to see what of these pages, just by looking at the URL, would make sense for us to be able to internal link to the belts page. So we want it to be natural. We don't want it to be too much of a stretch, but you can work it in creative ways to have these internal links here. So really good way. So I was kind of looked through a few of them, like handbags. I think that's a good opportunity too, because this one seems like that might be a 301 redirect page. But the regular handbags page, if we find it, collections, let's see, handbags 301. Okay, so here's one, just their crossbody page. So you could even mention in the content for this, so it seems like this is a collection page where it's all of their crossbody bags. But what you can do here is you can have some text content underneath the products. You don't want it above the products. That creates a bad user experience. Put it under the products. And within that content, you can just have a few paragraphs. And you can do it by, showing the people on your site that they can pair one of the belts with their handbags. And that's just a way it does then create it. So it's a natural internal link. And that really opens up opportunities, because some of these are going to be super, super relevant. Some of them are going to be a little bit more of a stretch, but you can do it, like I said, in that creative way where it's kind of pairing stuff. And it also, so that kind of makes it works out really, really well, because then you're also kind of upselling people when they're on the bags page to look at your belts as well, but it also creates that internal link. So basically what I was referencing here is what you can do is you can take content, put it underneath. So they have some content here. So then what you can do is underneath here, you can put something along the lines of adding, so you can put something along the lines of, you can also pair your crossbody bag with one of our leather belts or something like that. And then you'd internal link to your belts page. And the kind of the other important piece of this is to make sure for that anchor text, make sure it's the exact keyword that you're trying to rank for. So in that case, if it was just belts or leather belts, you'd hyperlink leather belts and internally link it to your belts page. So You can get a little bit creative with this. Obviously, make sure to hit the ones that are super relevant, internally link your different handbag types with each other because those are super easy. But you can get a little bit more creative with these categories that are a little bit more separate from each other by showing them how they compare them together. And it just works out really well. And you want to aim to add as many of these as you can. If you can get 10 to 20 internal links from pages that have backlinks, have good traffic, that just signals to Google that those are really important pages. You're passing that authority through. When you do this across a bunch of your pages, you're going to see things start to lift, and it could make a really, really big difference for your revenue. So I just wanted to kind of show you how you can implement that as well, because we did this with my client site over a bunch of their different pages. We added 15, 20, 25 internal links to their most important pages. And we saw stuff start to lift really quick. So it's really cool to see too. Not many things in SEO come fast, but when you're doing the internal linking like this and you're doing it with a bunch of your pages, you're adding a bunch of those internal links, you can see a pretty quick difference, and it can make a huge difference for your revenue too. That one fix made a $67,000 difference. If you're running a fashion brand and you have some level of authority, you could be one change like this away from a huge revenue jump. I'll drop a link right in the description here where you can grab my fashion SEO checklist, which will help you rank for your most important keywords. But if you'd rather have me help you instead, just head over to SEOalign.com to schedule a call to see if we'd be a good fit to work together. And if you got value out of this, please like this video and subscribe for more fashion SEO videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.